They had a certain something.
Enrique just walked into the room. Right away I said, my God, this kid is like a star.
He had all the charisma you could possibly need.
He's just a hottie.
They chased one goal relentlessly.
Right. He had a single idea in mind. It was success.
During Hurricane Andrews in Miami, Enrique would still get together with some guys in a garage with no power and still practice and write songs.
Through struggles.
When you come from such a musical family and you're the son of Enrique Iglesias, it's not easy getting into the music business.
People thought, oh, well, he's just taking advantage of his daddy's last name.
Julio wasn't happy at first. He's going to be a what? A musician?
And setbacks.
He had some technical problems in the developing of his voice.
Everyone rejected him. Sony, Polygram, BMG, you name it.
Somebody started saying that they had a tape of Enrique singing the song Rhythm Divine, and it was awful.
Some people are just driven. An ambitious boy's single-minded pursuit of superstardom.
He said, I know my father could help me, but I want to know if I can make it or not. I want to start like any other kid. I want to start from the bottom.
Never before seen images.
This is Enrique, who likes girls like crazy.
Stories and revelations from the people who know what really happened.
We were on vacation with my mother. My grandfather got kidnapped.
When someone's kidnapped and you don't know if that person's alive or dead, it's a scary thing. It affected him in a major way.
Because they lived it with him.
He lived almost like a double life.
He was determined to do what he wanted to do against anyone, and I mean anyone.
This is Driven, Enrique Iglesias.
Enrique was born in Madrid, Spain, May 8th, 1975. My sister is the oldest, my brother's the youngest, and I'm in the middle.
He was famous already when he was born.
His dad is Julio Iglesias.
He had done a lot of Spanish records and he was very successful.
He was the most famous entertainer in the world.
He is a real institution in Spain.
My mom's from the Philippines. She's Filipino-Spanish.
His mother was as famous as a movie star in Spain.
My mom was very beautiful, and you know my dad, he likes beautiful women.
They were pretty regular kids.
We went to school, church every Sunday.
And his parents made sure that that was part of their life, you know, to be as normal as possible, to fit into society with no problem.
My dad didn't spend a lot of time in the house. He was always touring. He was traveling a lot during that time.
The father being out on tour a lot meant some loneliness of not seeing your father.
Being the son of people who are so famous will make you feel a little lonely because your parents are so involved in their careers and sometimes far away.
Elvira Olivares was the governess to the children.
She's been with us since we were born.
She was very important in their lives because both father and mother were busy in their careers.
She brought them up, all three of them up. She was like a mother to Enrique.
She has her beliefs about being proper, kind.
She's taught us pretty much everything we know, from how to pray every night, manners, to how to eat.
She treated Enrique like a young man. She's an angel.
Enrique was 5 years old when my parents divorced. My mother remarried, and my dad moved to the U.S. straight to Miami.
They were constantly going back and forth. They visited their father on tour.
He used to put us on stage when we were very little, and he used to freak us out. We were so shy, you know, just to go up on stage with all those millions of people.
But they were just happy to spend time with their father.
December 1981, we were on vacation with my mother. My grandfather got kidnapped.
The kidnapping took place in Spain.
They put him into a car, coming out of his apartment, and they just took him away, and they kept him for about a month and a half. My dad got really scared.
When someone's kidnapped and you don't know if that person's alive or dead, it's a scary thing.
The police actually rescued him.
El hecho de que mi padre esté aquí con nosotros ya es ya por contestado. Yo no quiero saber lo que hubiera pasado si hubiera habido trenes.
Any kidnapping affects any family, especially a family that is very public. It affected them in a major way.
My dad got his bodyguards.
Spain was pretty dangerous at the time.
My father said, bring the kids to Miami so they're safe from the terrorist group.
Enrique moved to the States when he was 8 years old. He lived with his grandmother because his father was always traveling.
It was difficult for us to move to the States.
Leaving what you thought was home to come to a new place and barely speaking English. It's a whole new world.
Come here, cold turkey. It's like, whoa, you know, from one day to another. And here they had to start a new life, complete new life, you know.
We used to hate it because we missed our mother, we missed our friends. My dad bought a house for my grandma, our nanny, my brother, my sister, and I.
This is Enrique, who likes girls like crazy. Il adore les femmes comme fou, lui.
Enrique and I went to Gulliver School here in Miami.
Gulliver was a private school, very selective. You had to take an entrance exam, and they don't really care who you are or what family you come from.
I saw Enrique become embarrassed when people tried to make a big deal out of who he was. So I think it might have been a little difficult for him.
He didn't want to be accepted because his last name was, Iglesias.
I expected someone to be spoiled, someone to be conceited, and here's this kid that just blended in with everyone else.
He was just one of the boys.
Enrique would go to school in a station wagon. He would wear the same clothes as everyone else did. He would have a ripped up book bag.
He had to be home at a certain time.
He had a normal allowance, just like everyone else. $10 a week to eat, and that was it.
He did his work, but he was no genius. He was a good, hard-working kid most of the time. Most of the time, I say.
Enrique was in trouble on a daily basis.
He was a little bit mischievous.
He's a prankster.
You get 8-hour detentions on Saturdays, and he pretty much ran the detention center. He just do stupid things.
He used to throw papers at people.
Putting signs on your back.
If anything, he was maybe a little less mature.
He was an athlete. He loved sports.
He went windsurfing a lot after school.
That was like pretty much a religious type of thing.
He was a great soccer player.
Enrique got kicked off the soccer team.
Enrique was not popular with girls.
No one took him serious, He
was sort of skinny and gangly.
We were kind of the dorks.
I can remember him with his little, they wore Bermuda shorts as part of their uniform, and his little hairy, skinny legs.
Quite a few girls that just turned him down. He was definitely not what they consider a girl player.
He wasn't popular with girls, more because he was so shy. English, because it was a second language, sometimes was difficult, and I do remember him coming on the sly, because you wouldn't want your friends to know that you're asking your English teacher for any extra help. It was the idea that I don't understand it, but I certainly don't want anybody to know that I'm asking for help.
He was terribly particular about who he would share things or himself with.
Enrique followed all the Anglo music. We always made it a point to go to every concert. When we would go to the shows, he's like, wow, this is cool. One of these days, I'll be up there.
It was obvious that he had the desire to do something related to music.
After school, me and Andres would be playing sports, and of course he'd be writing or doing something of the sort, that none of us knew about.
It was kind of strange sometimes. I'd be like, it's windy as hell. You don't want to go windsurfing? He's like, no, I gotta go do this. I go, okay.
Enrique was very quiet about the stuff he was doing.
He would, in fact, stay up all night, and he would spend his time writing songs.
He was very serious. He was very into it.
I had no idea that the feeling of music that he had went that far.
He made up his mind that he was going to be a singer. You can tell he was out there to prove something, and he was determined to do it on his own.
Next, Enrique's singing career gets off to a shaky start.
My first feeling was that he had some technical problems in the developing of his voice.
His voice was very, very green. It wasn't really ripe.
Then, Enrique fights hard to make a name for himself.
He was thinking, okay, well, how am I going to market myself?
His family probably would have made a couple of phone calls and helped him out.
Enrique wanted to do that on his own without any attachment to the name of Iglesias.
Later, Enrique gets his first exposure in front of the lens.
They weren't even sure he could even perform. There was a kissing scene. It was like he never kissed a girl before.